I started doing voice messages,
Mm-hmm.
and when I would replay it, I would hear myself say a lot,
Yeah.
and so I started being more like aware of it, and so
Mm-hmm.
I just started like thinking like it while I was talking, trying to focus on what my point was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Lower a little bit more, Brandon, please. Yeah, that's something that I'm really conscious about too when I'm doing voiceovers, or is that what you
yes,
said? Voiceovers, right? Uh
no voice. When you instead of texting, when you send a
oh, I
voice
see, I see.
message,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah.
You're one of those.
No, I started doing this course, and so I had never done one of those before,
Hmm.
and then I
Yeah,
started getting them, and I'm like, okay, well, let me just respond really quick instead of texting a whole text,
yeah, yeah.
because it is actually convenient. But that's where I heard myself say
Okay,
a lot, and I was like,
yeah.
I say a lot.
Yeah, my mom and
But
my sister do it all the time. They voice message themselves all the time.
really,
I don't like that. I They send me voice messages and I just text back.
TikTok-
Yeah, I don't know. I just old school. I guess I don't know. But it's super convenient, super fast.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So, Elizabeth, thank you very much for stopping by, recording an episode with me. I'm super excited because you make soaps. I tried making soaps. I make candles, so kind of the
Oh,
same
that's
category.
awesome.
Yeah. We first met back in Jesus Christ, early 2000s, right?
Yeah,
Mr. Kernan's class, I think.
yeah.
That's when I first met you.
In middle school,
Middle
right?
school, yeah,
I know. I can't believe I remember the teachers' names. I
yeah,
don't even remember.
yeah, yeah. So it's been a minute.
Yeah.
How you been? How's life treating you?
I've
Everything good?
been good. Everything's good. I feel like I found myself again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I haven't been more stressed in my life. I feel like in the last few years, just because I don't know if you know, but my husband is sick.
Uh-huh.
And so I feel like that has stressed me out a lot.
Yeah, I did read about that on your about us on your website.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to talk about that now? Like
Well,
what is exactly that? It's something about his kidneys, right?
yeah, his kidneys. Yeah. So, I don't even know if there's a certain way to start talking about it, but I have been working all my life, like ever since I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
14, 15, I started working at Long's Drugs, and then I worked like at the Redwoods and stuff like that. And then once I graduated high school, I was pregnant, and
Mm-hmm.
I did a little small course for phlebotomy.
What is that?
And when you draw blood,
Okay, okay.
yeah. So I was doing that for like, oh my God, 10 years. Now it's been like over 13 years now. And in 2020, right before like COVID kind of
Mm-hmm.
started, I decided to say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to work at a hospital because it was too risky and I was pregnant with my second child. And so I decided to like stop working. And it was a time that I decided to like, okay, maybe I'll stop working and like be home a little more because with my first son, I was always working. My mom always helped me.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to take some time off, be home. And when my daughter was born in 2021, 6 months after, we found out he needed a kidney transplant. So just the word transplant, I couldn't accept it, and so it was so hard. I started getting into a victim mentality, like why me, why now,
Mm-hmm.
why now that I wanted to kind of like have a more maybe relaxed life in a way, like not too fast paced. And so I was having a hard time dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him really sick. He was hospitalized like three times within like a year, and so he didn't want to. I don't want to say he didn't want to accept that he needed to do dialysis, and it came to a point where he couldn't keep food down, and he was really gray, really yellow, green, and all of his family was like saying, "No, don't. If you take him to do dialysis, he's gonna have a poor quality of life." And so I supported in a way, yes, do everything naturally, like no medicine, no doctors. But I mean, I also work in the hospital, so I see that it comes to a point where you need medical treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to ask my mom, like, what should I do? Like, I don't know what to do. And she referred me to her friend to get like advice. And she said, you need to take him because if he collapses, you're not going to come out
Mm-hmm.
with him from the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so I talked to him, and I decided, I said, you're going to need to go do dialysis. Like, you have to. And we went like maybe like a day after because he wanted to get everything ready at the house before we left and stuff. But that has stressed me because in 3 occasions I wouldn't sleep because I'm like, what if he dies? You know, and my daughter was little,
Yeah,
so it
those are
was,
scary thoughts.
yeah, it was scary. And in like looking back now, in one instance, he was septic, so he had an infection in his blood.
Oh
So if
damn.
he didn't take medicine, he was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And then he he gets his hair cut. So the guy that cuts his hair was telling him about like his cuñado. You know, the whole family didn't want him to get dialysis because he was gonna have a poor quality of life. Well, when he decided to go get dialysis and proceed with the treatment, no aguantó
Mm-hmm.
and he died.
Oh
Like he
damn.
didn't resist dialysis.
Oh.
So I feel like that has lately I've been more stressed like on that. Like
Mm-hmm.
why do we have to go through it? But returning to work has helped me be more grateful because I feel like I was turning bitter.
Really?
Yeah, I found myself being bitter. I wasn't grateful. I was just constantly stressed and with the little girl, and thinking about like the future. You
Mm-hmm.
know what how's my future look like, or will he pass early? Because also people who do dialysis after a long time they get tired,
Mm-hmm.
and so I feel like I just got myself caught up thinking too much on that,
Mm-hmm.
and then I said I need to get out of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in a way too, health insurance is so expensive, so
Yeah. Super expensive.
super expensive. And I said, you know what, like let me go back. And luckily they did. I didn't start off right away with the position, but I started like on call per
Mm-hmm.
diem,
Mm-hmm.
and then slowly now I have like my schedule and I have benefits. But I work in ER
Mm-hmm.
and I draw blood,
Yeah.
and I see a lot of people coming in saying I was diagnosed with this, with cancer, or I'm going through this, or my mom is here and my dad's about to get admitted. And
Mm-hmm.
so seeing that has made me be like, I'm grateful for what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it's not like how perfect or how you would want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
but it has definitely made me be like very grateful.
Just
So
seeing people in worse circumstances makes you feel.
yeah,
Yeah.
or people that are completely alone,
Yeah. Okay.
people that are going through cancer. Some of them, like every other Monday,
Mm-hmm.
I hear them. They come and they do blood work, and they tell me, "Oh, I'm in remission now." Or other people say, "No, like I have to continue doing this
What's
until
that? Remission?
like the cancer has gone away,
Oh.
the
Okay. Okay.
treatment has like
Got it. Got it.
taken care of."
Okay.
Yeah, and they're all like grateful because they're just alive um, here. They're like, "Well, I'm alive today, and so
Yeah.
it's a good day."
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so things like that. And these are people who are older, like
Mm-hmm.
65, 70, and they're going through that at that
Yeah.
age. So I'm like, oh my God, it really has made me become grateful.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
So Javier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did he found out about this? Like, what was the process? Like, what?
So like in 2017, he went for a physical,
Mm-hmm.
and he has high cholesterol and then high blood pressure. So he didn't want to take medicine. So we tried eating healthy, no fat stuff, no processed food.
Mm.
And it wasn't working. And then he got on medication and getting used to that, taking medicine um, in 2018. Then 2019, he was kind of getting the hang of it. And then where everything closed, like at the end of
Mm-hmm.
2019, all of 2020, we didn't see a doctor or anything. And so 2021, I think things started opening up again, right?
About yeah.
So he went like in March,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and the doctor's like, "Oh, your kidneys are 30%,
No way.
and they're supposed to be at 100."
Wow.
So he went to ER, and then they said, "Oh no, no, you're fine. Drink more water. Like, that's what it is. Avoid like Nyquil, Advil, certain things that you should avoid for your kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were already doing that. We're like, oh, okay. But then he went for a follow up to his doctor. He's like, no, I have to refer you to a nephrologist, which is a kidney doctor, a
Mm-hmm.
specialist.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, that was it was at 30% and it started declining to 18%. Yeah. And so she said we need to, she did a whole bunch of blood tests. Nothing came out. Um, Ultrasound because she thought the kidneys were maybe like turning into raisins, like shrinking.
Oh wow.
That was hard. And then because he was thinking like, oh, maybe that's what's going on, and nothing was there. They looked fine until they did a biopsy, and then the biopsy revealed that he has a disease. It's FSGS, and that what it does, we don't know too much about it because it's like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be autoimmune, where something changed in his blood and it just started attacking the kidneys.
Mm.
Or it could be sometimes it's hereditary, but one doctor has said he doesn't think it's hereditary. He thinks something changed in the blood that it caused the disease to attack the kidneys. So the kidneys filter, but it leaks protein, so nothing really, no toxins are able to get filtered. Like they're scarred.
Okay.
Think of, yeah, there's like so many little veins and they scar, so they don't work. Yeah.
Got it.
So well, now he does 3 times a week dialysis. I feel like we've gotten the hang of it, but it's still hard. Like today he had his treatment. He leaves at 5. He comes back like almost 10, but he's tired.
Yeah.
So seeing that is hard.
Yeah. So I also read that he's either kidney transplant. Is that the only way that he could get better, or could that go away?
It can go away. I've heard of people getting remission, but I think if you find out at an earlier stage, and that's what's like, why didn't the doctor tell me? Like when it was like at 50%, So I was angry at that, like, hey, you should have pointed it out here, like.
Yeah.
And even though I do work like in a hospital setting, sometimes you don't really know how to like pinpoint what is this test, what
Yeah.
results are like only for the doctor to read, and they don't want you. Sometimes they don't want, if you don't ask for it and you don't see, it'll tell you there what's the normal range and where you're at. So
got it.
I wasn't really aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but only a transplant.
So how does that work as far as transplants go? Like, I'm sure there's like a wait list. How do you know where you are on the wait list, or it's just like you have to wait for a call? How does that work?
Yeah, you see, wait for a call. So he's at UCSF, and that's the longest wait list. And especially because it goes by blood type. So he's O positive, and he can only receive from O positive people, which I'm O positive, so he could receive mine. But I'm like 15 pounds overweight. So they won't allow me to even test to see if I'm compatible.
Got it.
So I've been working on it, and it hasn't worked out. I mean, either like I'm up 5 or I'm 5 down. So maybe a stress,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It could be that.
O positive. Is that like a common blood type or more rare?
No, I think
Which one's like the rarest blood
I think
type?
that one can be given to any person.
Oh, okay.
But receiving, you can only get from an O positive.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's an 8 to 10 year wait here at UCSF. And that's a long time. And we looked at UC Davis, it goes to like 4.5 years. So it drops down. And I found a hospital in Nebraska. It's 3 years. And we actually went there at the beginning of the year. And they said because of the time that he's been dialyzing, they count that time.
Okay.
So they're like, you probably get a call in the summer. But now other things have like come about, like his parathyroid, like this glands here, the levels have increased. So if it's not at a certain range, they won't let you go on the list. So now he's taking medicine for that. We have to wait for like 2 years.
It's not one thing, it's another.
It's another thing. Yeah, so that's been like hard, and actually, one of somebody that he knows, she recommended Stanford,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a treatment or a program where they use stem cells. So let's say I can give him my kidney.
Mm-hmm.
They'll take my cells and they program those cells to go into his body,
Mm-hmm.
and they program them in a way where it will prepare his body so that 5 months later I can give him the kidney and his body won't reject it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and so that's actually a good thing because then he won't have to take medicine for rejection, because that's something that they would have to take like,
Oh,
the
okay,
rest of
okay.
their life.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
because like your body looks at it like, oh, this is an intruder. Who
Mm-hmm.
are you? We're gonna like kick you out.
Okay, so yeah,
Yeah, and that's something that he does worry about because with FSGS that can happen with his disease that he has.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's a scary thing to like just think about. Like my kidney's failing, and you have to
Hmm.
wait for a call. So when you're on the wait list, you can't really see
Mm-mm.
where on the wait list you are. You
No,
just wait for the call.
you just wait for the call. Yeah,
Damn, that's crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm having more hope in Nebraska, like
Mm-hmm.
prior to knowing about Stanford. And I was like, oh, now I have to wait for this, But
Mm-hmm.
at least it's keeping my hopes up. I look at it in a way where he's still here,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, I'm really grateful for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just look at it like that, and it's what helps me like move forward.
Yeah, 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 of course.
Yeah.
So you said you've looked into three different hospitals.
Mhm.
Could you add your name to three
Mhm.
hospitals, or you had to pick and choose? Like you could only.
Um, you can. So with UCSF, I think if you're on that list and you want to go, there's another hospital. It's Sutter, but it goes by CPMC in the city.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on UCSF, then you can't put your name on CPMC because they use the same wait list.
Oh, I see. I see.
So I, I stopped with that. But UC Davis uses a different wait list. So
So you could add both.
yeah,
Okay,
so
good.
he's actually UCSF and UC Davis.
Got it. Got it.
And we're hopefully this year he can get to the one in Nebraska. But now I want to look into Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of my coworkers that I work with, they've told me that Stanford is at a leading edge for like new like technology and
Okay.
medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I have my hopes up for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's you gotta stay hopeful, because if you start, doubting yourself and having negative thoughts, then that doesn't really help the situation. I feel like.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah.
But like my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
she's a blessing. Like even her name means gift from God. Um, she helps us. Like my husband's like she's our
May I ask what her name is?
Ivana.
Ivana.
Yeah,
That's what it means.
yeah. It means a
Nice.
gift from God.
Okay.
And she really is. Like there's been times where like I don't want to get out of bed or I just don't want to do anything, but she's like, I'm hungry. I want to go to the park, and it's like, well, I have to be like suck it up and you know move along my day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't do this.
Yeah.
She has to eat.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So she keeps us busy. We're always like here and there, but it's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. And how big has this affected Javier? Like, does he go to work and stuff, or is he very limited to things?
Well, he does still work.
How does this
Yeah.
affect like your day to day life?
Oh, I mean, we have to work around it. You know, he does landscaping,
Mm-hmm.
so he has, his brother helps him. They work together, and then he has like two other people, um, and they help him. He goes and he's like, to do it like this way, like the
Mm-hmm.
job, and that helps. But I'm saying I'm a lot now.
Yeah.
So he's
I didn't
lucky.
notice till you brought it up.
He having his own business has helped him in a way where he's not physically always working. Like
Okay.
where he has to physically be there every like day. But I help him, manage like the invoicing, the people emailing. I help him look over the emails, and sometimes like if he's come back, he's not 100%.
Mhm.
So I can't answer quickly, and that's what's hard for me because I'm like, go, 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 go,
Yeah.
but I have to understand that he's not. He needs to recover.
Exactly. Yeah.
I need to give him that time. Um, so that it's definitely hard, but we're doing the best that we can, and that's what I have to remind myself.
Mhm.
We're doing the best that we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and not be because I can be really hard on myself. Like you need to do this and this and this and this and that and get it done. And if it's not done, I feel guilty. I'm like maybe I'm not doing a good job.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm this or maybe I'm being lazy and um, self sabotage myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've been working on it.
Mhm.
You know, like I'm aware, so I try to be like okay.
Yeah.
But he is able to go to work. Like today, he rests for like a couple hours, and he just needs to go pick up some tools in his trailer and yeah,
Mhm.
you know, like that stuff.
Yeah. Well, at least he has help. Like you said, his
Mhm.
brother. He has
Yeah.
employees that could do like the heavy lifting or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that and you know, just I'm grateful for it. It's not like he has to be asking for like time off or this
Yeah.
and that and but it's still not easy, you know.
Yeah. I bet it's not
Mhm.
easy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So
have you have your job, and then you have to help them, and then kids, they're a handful.
of
Yeah.
course,
Busy schedule, huh?
very busy schedule. I'm like rushing. I work at 2 most of the days. Like today I'm off, tomorrow I'm off, and then I work Thursday, Friday,
Mhm.
2 to 10:30. So I have time to organize, but I do have to say okay, if I want to work out, if I want to make breakfast, I need to allow myself, and my mom helps me out a lot.
Okay.
So I drop her off at my mom's, and she already got into a routine where she's like, "Are we going with mom?" Because she
Oh,
calls
I
her
see.
mom.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
She's like, "Oh, we're going to mom's." I'm like, "Yes, we're going to mom." She's like, "Vas a trabajar?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm going to work." So we've gotten the hang of it,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. You have to have a not set schedule, but like a routine and a schedule
Mhm.
in order for you to like fit everything in one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, but yeah, she. And then my son's 15, so high school stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
What school
he,
is he going to?
he actually comes to Nevada High.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
here.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
goes to Nevada High too.
Oh yeah,
What's his name?
Emilio
Emilio. Your last name?
Leon.
What?
He's Leon. Emilio Leon Montoya.
Oh,
What?
there you go. That's funny.
No way. Oh my god, wait till I tell
That's
him.
crazy.
Oh yeah,
All right. Cool. Nice.
that's awesome.
um. Yeah, it's been cool.
Mhm.
The episodes that I've done.
Yeah.
Either it's people I know, like
Uh
you,
huh.
Glenda Garay. That's
Yeah.
how I found out about your business, because
Oh
Glenda shout
okay.
you out. I'm like, let me reach out to Elizabeth.
Oh, thanks, Glenda.
It's been, yeah, I know, right? It's been a nice experience, because either I know the person that I'm interviewing, or I went to school with the person, or something.
Mhm.
So it's been a fun experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that they go to school together.
Yeah.
um,
A small world.
I know,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So how was after high school? What did you go to college? Did you keep in touch with any of your old
Um.
high school and middle school friends, or?
No, I tried doing college,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like because my dad, he's still around. He was really like he really wanted to have me complete something more. Um, and he supported me, and so he always pushed me like go to school, like do something else. And I was going to Heald College because my sister, when she graduated after maybe like 2 years later, I was '09. I think she was 2011, and then she started going to Heald, and I was like, well, I'll just go to Heald, like where she goes. And a little bit after, I stopped going.
Mm-hmm.
My father passed in 2011, and so that changed everything. Um, me and my husband were living in Richmond with his aunt, um, and we moved back in with my mom just to help support her
Mm-hmm.
and my sister. And so I left out the college part.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm not gonna do that because I always felt guilty going to school in the evening. So I would work 7 to 5, pick up my son, and then go to school. He would stay with his dad, but I would go to school from like 6 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, maybe I didn't have class, but then on Thursday I did, and it was the same thing, and I felt so guilty. And that's when Amelia was little,
Mm.
so I felt like I was missing out on a lot. So after that happened with my dad, we we moved in, and then I just focused on working. I worked at Quest Diagnostics,
Mm-hmm.
and I was all over the place from San Rafael to Petaluma, and then at one point I was just working at Petaluma Health Center in the lab, and I was just focused working and kind of spending time with family, my husband. No social media though. I wasn't on social media back then.
Mm.
I think I only had Snapchat and
Really?
then WhatsApp. That was it.
Okay.
I kept in touch with like my friends, but I didn't go out like to clubs to and they would invite me, and I was just so focused like on you know you just get you and your family and,
Mm-hmm.
and your focus, and maybe you have a goal you're working towards, or you have something that you want to reach, and you just stay focused on that. And
Mm-hmm.
but Wendy and Lily, I still keep in touch with them. We don't see each other often, but we know why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like they understand me and I understand them.
Okay.
um but yeah, no, I didn't do the college. Did
Got
you?
it. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. My wife got pregnant, and I had to start working and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even. I tried, but I just didn't follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Es la cosa when you have like kids at a young age. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's either you work or you
Yeah.
go to school, but you need to provide. So
Yeah. Yeah, this
yeah,
is it's hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So in middle school we went to I was a newcomer, so I was
Mm-hmm.
learning English. How was that experience for you growing up?
Me,
Yeah.
like, I grew up in the canal.
Wait, no, no. Were you in Mr. Canan's class or not?
Was this English class?
Yeah, I guess.
I thought I had Mr. Tuttle.
No, I'm confusing you. Yeah, you didn't go to. Yeah, but never mind. Anyways, um, so after high school, um, you went to college for a bit, then you started working. Is that all you've done? Like the working in the hospital
Phlebotomy.
and stuff, and
Well, only like Quest. So like Quest was like an outpatient setting, like a
mhm.
clinic.
Yeah. But is
And
that all you've done? Like,
yeah,
okay, okay,
that's
okay.
all I've done. And
Got it,
it
got
was
it.
a short course. My dad actually helped me pay half of it.
What does that job category fall under?
Um, like a technical,
Okay.
I think. Like,
Hmm.
yes, it was a 3-month program.
But that's all the type of stuff you've done.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, got
just
it.
drawing blood.
Got it.
Yeah, and then from there I worked at other labs. Like I worked with LabCorp. Then I went with BioReference.
Mm-hmm.
BioReference was inside the Marine Community Clinic. So I was at the San Rafael one for a little bit, like in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
2014, 2015, 2016. Because I was even here at the one in Novato at times.
Mm.
And during that time, I want to say like after my dad's passing, I don't think I had as much stress as I feel like I have now. So I've heard this saying like, if you're experiencing like a really hard situation, it's because you've had like a situation where you haven't experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
So I look back and I'm like, during that time, I was just really just enjoying life. Yeah, being responsible and trying to meet my goals or whatever I was working on. But those were like really nice years. I look back and I'm like, I really only came to work, and then like my husband was fine, I was fine, and how it's so different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So on your website, I read that. Let's talk about Encefalo because I'm
Uh
really
huh.
curious to know what that means and how you started.
Yes.
So
So
on your website it says that so Encefalo, you sell soaps, correct? That's all you
yes,
sell, soaps.
it's just soaps, soap
Okay.
bars. Yeah.
You said or I read that your mom would gift
Gift.
or hand
Yeah.
soaps out.
Yeah. So it was like every Christmas or like on my birthday, she would buy these soaps, and they were wrapped in clear plastic, and she
Oh, but
would
she wouldn't make the soaps.
no no
Oh,
no no
okay,
no
okay,
no
okay,
no.
okay,
She
okay,
would
okay.
buy them. She would buy them at Pharmaca,
Got
the
it.
one here in Novato.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she loved going. She loved going to that store, and so
Mm.
she would buy me soaps. She would give me soaps with like maybe like a sweater or something, and so I always like on my birthday, like I look forward to that, like, and they were like big bar soaps, and they were white, pink. There was like a blue one, so she would gift them on those occasions, like
Mm-hmm.
So when I was going through this with my husband and stuff, when I haven't hadn't returned to work, there was a moment where I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go shower so I can like open my new soap bar.
Mm-hmm.
And but I originally wanted to start selling clothes, like a boutique. That's what I
Okay.
wanted to do.
Got it.
So that's why at the beginning it was Encefalo Boutique. And then, but this was prior to me knowing my husband was sick. So when he was sick, that was on pause because I was preparing all his meals because in order for him to not do dialysis, he wanted to like eat plant based. So very little protein because that damages your kidneys when he's in that stage.
Oh, damn.
So it wouldn't affect more. So that was I was just so busy with that, and that you know my idea of having a business came to a pause. And last year in 2023, like towards the end, um, I took a mentorship program, and but my idea was I'm gonna resell these soaps because then I got in contact with the soaps that my mom would give me. I got in contact with them, and I was able to purchase at a wholesale and me resell them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing that maybe for like 2 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
not very long. And my idea was like, oh, let me create my store and then I will resell these. I'll get clients that are gonna like them, and then later on, maybe I can do my own. When I took the mentorship program, it was like, well, do you always want to sell someone else's soaps or do you want to have your own? And then I wasn't ready. It was like a switch. Like, you need to decide right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was scared. And so I said, okay, well, I had to take a decision. And I
Mm-hmm.
took the decision. I'm like, okay, I'm working. Okay. And so they're like, we need a formula for whatever soaps you want to do. Turn it into me next week. And then I was scrambling in my head. I'm like, how am I going to create a formula? I've never made soap before. I had no idea. I'm like, what do you need? What are the calculations? I had nothing. So it was challenging, but I like challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So um, that's how that started. And then we removed the boutique because it wasn't nothing to do with the boutique. It was I knew I wanted to do soaps, so I was like thinking and thinking, what am I gonna put? So we put beauty, so we can add more things to it. Um, but the name Encefalo means mind, and donde nacen tus pensamientos, so where your thoughts are born.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and Javier, he came up with the name.
Huh.
Yeah, because we were looking for names and they were all taken. I would look them up online; they were all taken. We had a whole like pages of name ideas that we wanted. Everything was taken, and so one day he came home and he's like, "I found one," and then I'm like, "Well, what's it called?" And he's like, "Encefalo," and then I was like, "What is that?" he's like, "It's donde nacen los pensamientos." So I thought that was cool. It's just like, oh, okay, I like it. So that he came up with it, and yeah,
So encephalo, is that the word where the thoughts are born, or is that the name of the part of the brain
it's
where the thoughts are
actually
born?
it's a part of the brain.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So we looked at it like, okay, well, it's in your brain.
Okay,
Your thoughts are born.
got it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's a great
So
name.
I brought you some here.
Awesome.
Um, just thank you.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
You're welcome.
it. So do you do all your packaging?
Yeah.
Or do you
So
have do you source it out to other people to do it? I could open it, right?
yeah, you can open it. Yeah.
Ooh, I
Uh,
get two and a little sticker.
yeah. We source it out. So when I took the mentorship program, they put me in contact with someone that was
That's pretty cool.
a manufacturer that was, like they were really like legit.
Hmm.
And we from there I just, they turned in my formula to them, and then I started the talking between me and the people doing the soap. Um, and we did samples back and forth, and this was all like late 2023.
All right, sorry. Let's kind of backtrack a little bit. So you don't make your own soaps.
No, I don't make.
Okay, got it, got it, got
Yeah.
it. Okay, I thought you made your own soaps because
Mm.
when I saw, I'm like, damn, she's pretty good.
No.
So you have somebody that makes the
Yes.
soaps. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, cool. They do
Yeah.
all the packaging and stuff, or
Yes, they
it's different
actually.
companies that do the.
No, they actually have a contact where they put me in contact for the box, and so they we did the box.
Okay,
Um, and
thank you.
you're welcome. And
Awesome.
so they did the box, and then they did the soaps. Yeah. And I never thought it would be this quick to like create something.
Yeah.
Um, it took longer than expected because we started like in September in 2023, and then in by December is by when we were thinking of to like hopefully, if I liked everything, like okay we can start selling.
Hmm.
But no, it came about till until now June. So but I've enjoyed it. I've had
So
fun.
when was your like first? When did it go live?
Oh, June 14th. June 4th.
Last month.
Just yeah, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
damn,
yeah. Just like yeah,
that's
like 2 weeks
awesome.
ago.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Well,
So
congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah. So how many soaps do you carry? How many scents do you carry?
I carry two now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a rosemary and lavender.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have those, and it now going through this with my husband, like and seeing working in the ER, I see that a lot of people can benefit from them.
In what way? How
And
do they benefit?
like when I shower with these soaps, like the lavender one.
All right, and we are back. Sorry, we have some cameras with the issues with the cameras. So where were we? We were talking about
How people benefit from the
how people
soaps, right?
benefit. You have two soaps. Yeah, so I like I was telling you earlier, I make my own candles. We're
Hmm.
gonna be at the Marine County Fair this year,
Oh my god, that's
selling
cool.
candles. Yeah, yeah. And I last year, late last year, I tried to make some soaps
Uh huh.
because I wanna add that to our collection.
Mhm.
Um, and it's a nice process, but I'm not quite satisfied with the formula yet, so
Mhm.
I put that on pause. I will add it to a collection, but
Yeah. Oh, that's
it, it it's
cool.
it's it's um it's an interesting process.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Yeah.
was curious to see if you made your
We
soaps.
have made soap though.
Okay.
Yeah, my husband he's been researching like YouTube.
Uh huh.
And so he came across I think it's called mint leaf in Texas.
Huh.
And then she got a package from this brand called Makesi. I think that's what it's called.
Makesy.
Makesi.
Hmm.
Makesy.
Makesy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think you might.
They
Okay,
were yeah.
and so my husband said, okay, let's buy the whole kit. It has everything to make it, and so we did make one soap.
How did it
Um,
come out?
it came out good,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
and it really helped me more see like what goes into it,
I think
and
the that was like cold press, right?
cold press, yes,
Because I'm still kind of learning about what
yeah,
the difference
uh
is,
huh,
but yeah.
yeah.
So.
It was a cold press, and then
Mhm.
we let it cure for 4 weeks,
Uh huh.
because it loses water,
Uh huh.
and so you want to make sure you have a good the weight.
Mhm.
Once you're selling it, that's the weight of it.
Yeah.
And so I liked it. My mom liked it because it was made with it had olive oil, it had coconut oil. We put a green powder. I forgot what it was called, like kaolin, green detailing.
Uh-huh.
And it was cool. But it's work, and then you shouldn't have kids, pets,
Yeah.
because you work with the chemicals,
Yeah.
can make you go blind. So you need to, yeah.
So why did you choose to source out
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
making your soap rather than making your own soap?
So when
Was it the time? Was it the convenience? Was it
I think for me, it was the convenience. And the person that I was doing the mentorship program, gave me this contact, and I hadn't done a soap then yet.
mm-hmm.
The soap, I think we made it in January of
Okay.
this year when
Okay.
we finally got our hands in and we got all the equipment to make the soap. And when I was starting this, it was October, November.
Mm.
So, but my husband's like, I want to make them. He's like, because they had a problem where they had the electricity went out one time because it was like raining,
Mm-hmm.
and so he said we wouldn't have to be dealing with this. But they're going out, like a shut off.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it like when I decided to really move forward, like I was really serious about like making something happen. I thought to myself like I want to be able to have my job, but what can I sell from home that I can sell like when I'm off, or that I can have a side income in case he passes.
Mm.
So I got into a mind where like, I'm like, what if he does pass?
Mm-hmm.
I was, to me that was becoming something more like a realistic that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was home, one time I was with my mom. My husband was in the hospital, and it was a moment where I realized like, what am I doing at my mom's house? I have my house. I should go home, and um, I have a place where I can shower my daughter. And mind you, this is my kitchen sink.
Mm-hmm.
But just I had my stuff that worked for me at my house, and so I got my stuff. I got my son. He was like already what 13, 14, and he helped me. I went home. I'm like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, I have cameras outside. Like, locked inside. If anything happens, I'll just call 911. And so I said, if he passes, I want to be able to still be home with my kids, but I want to have another income. Because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I probably can make things meet with my job, but maybe really tight, or maybe I need to work more
Yeah.
and be absent. Um, and I'm like, my little girl, she's one day gonna go to kindergarten. I want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. So I feel like that's why when they gave me the contact to have them sourced out, I said, well, let me give it a try. It's not like it's definitive forever.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll help me see. Like I've always been like open minded. Oh, let's try this. Y si no, pues no, or like always keep the doors open.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was more like convenient stuff,
Got
and
it. Yeah.
I feel like it's something that I could do without having to like just like more work on being so saturated already during the day.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's why I did this way.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Is it as far as the price point? Is there a big difference if you made it yourself as to sourcing it out, or is it about the same?
Well, we would have to set everything up, like buy all the oils, buy all the equipment. So I think it would probably be a little bit more, maybe if I did it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Mm.
But one thing that I have seen in the like, we did the first soap in January,
Mm-hmm.
but we haven't been able to make another one because I'm working, and then maybe when I'm not working, he's working because that's the day that he didn't do dialysis, and so he's fully working. And then I'm also considerate of my mom. I'm like, well, what if she doesn't want to care for my daughter? So it's finding the time to do it. And so I'm like, and my husband's like, no, we need to do it. He's still saying that we need to do it. And then I said, well, how are we gonna do it? We haven't even been able to do another one.
Yeah.
So but I know it's something that he doesn't want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just time consuming. It's like for the candles, for example, we were making candles for the fair just to restock
Mhm.
and stuff. It's just like so time consuming, you
Yeah.
know. I work, the wife works, so we have to do it after,
Mhm.
we're both back from work, and then the kids need attention. It's just
Yeah.
like you said, it's very time consuming, and you gotta find the right time to do it and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's better, like, to source it out at the moment, just because
Mhm.
convenience, timing, and then, like, what's it called, like buying all the product that you need
Yeah.
at the beginning is it's a big freaking
Yeah.
expense. Yeah.
It's expense, it's
Yeah.
investment, and then keeping track of everything that you have.
Yeah.
But my husband's really, I think he really like how this lady has everything set up, and it's really nice. It's really nice. But I'm like, well, we're not there yet.
So when let's say I purchase soap from your website,
Mhm.
do you get the order? Does it go
Yeah.
strictly to the person that makes the soaps, or
No, no,
how
no.
does that
It
work?
goes to me. So so I purchase my inventory.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay,
So
okay, okay.
then I get it from them, and then but it's it's my formula,
Mm-hmm.
and they send it to me, and then they send me the boxes and everything. So they make it for you, and they have all regulations. They're FDA cleared. They have every certificate, valid. It's cruelty free. Everything
Yeah.
is plant based. So because I was like very like concerned. I'm like, what are you putting in here? And there's certain ingredients on there like that caught my eye at the beginning, like propylene glycol.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why did you add this? And they were like, because when it's being shipped to you, the soap will, um, you're not gonna get soap. It's gonna like, it doesn't hold, so your soap needs to hold.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny because at the time we went to Nebraska, and my husband at the airport in there's somewhere in, I think it was Las Vegas airport. No me acuerdo where we did a scala somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
He bought a soap, and when we got to the house, it shrunk. So
Oh
it
shit.
yeah, because it was in a box, and so he's like it shrunk because now the soap could move inside of the box.
Oh
So, and
wow.
this came a little bit after because I was waiting to hear back from them, and then they're like, "Oh, it's because you want to make sure that you get your full soap. Like, no, you're not gonna receive anything."
Yeah.
And so that's where it kind of made sense. And then I said, "Okay, well, where does it come from?" Because propylene glycol can come from petroleum, and that's one thing that I was aware. And I said, "What? Make sure where does it come from?" And so they came back clear. They're like, "It comes from a plant." So don't feel like it has propylene. And that's where I learned. I've been seeing a lot of things on social media like, don't buy this cream because it has propylene glycol, or look at this, it has this chemical. But a lot of people don't realize that they come from plants. It's not, yes, it can't come from a petroleum, but there's other ways now
Mm-hmm.
that they can get it from. So
Yeah.
if you see that there, it's from a plant.
Got it.
So, yeah, so I've been learning too, you know, um, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, how do you come up with a formula? How did you get help? You know, on creating a formula. But how
Um,
is a formula created, and how is your formula different from other brands per se?
so you know how you were just saying how about you learn from other podcasts and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that,
Yeah.
like something that you can pick up from. So that's what I started doing. I started looking at the soaps that I would my mom would give me.
Mm-hmm.
So I started looking at them and I looked at their ingredients, like, okay, what are you listing? I came to realize they sell it as a French soap, like it's your classic French soap.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have other ingredients in there that you're like, oh well, you're selling it to the customer like it's a really good quality one, but in reality there's some other things
Mm-hmm.
that people are unaware of.
Mm-hmm.
So I started kind of seeing what they would put, and then one thing that I learned in this mentorship is don't go for perfection.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay. Um, and this person was like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't come up with, it's not like just give me what you want in it. So I went from there. So
Okay.
I made a PDF, and then and me and my husband said, okay, what do we want to have in it? And he looked at a lot of videos in Spanish, and then I looked at a lot of videos in English, and then I was like, what's lie? And he's like, salsa. And then I'm like, is that the same thing, lie and a salsa? It is. And so we were like back and forth, and like you said, this is coming home from work, and the kids and my daughter, she was 2.
Mm-hmm.
So all that chaos, but um, he was like, well, it really came down to where we had to decide what do you want in it. So I said, I want one of romero, and then my husband said we should do one with lavender, and we kind of went from there. We're like, okay, based on what we've seen, what else do we want to put in it? So we want olive oil. We want at the beginning we wanted to add sage and thyme, like castor oil, and so I put rosemary, and then I put lavender, and then I said, what do I want? And that's how I turned it in. And then I said, well, if it works, it works. And so then they started working on it. And so they determined the calculations to everything.
Like the ratios of.
Yeah,
Okay, got it.
for
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and they added other stuff. So when I got the final, like, I reviewed, and then that's where I questioned, what is this? Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What was the process like as far as getting your first sample? Were you satisfied from the beginning? Were there like a lot of reviews, a couple? Like how was that for you?
I was very doubtful.
Really?
Yes, because I was like, is it good? Yes, it is good. Then I would smell it and be like, no, it's not good. And then my husband was like, no, como que no. And then we had a friend come over one day. She's like in her 50s. And so we only got, I want to say, we didn't even get that many samples. I think we got like 4 of each.
Mm-hmm.
And we had her wash her hands, but we didn't tell her. And then she goes like, oh my God, these are amazing. She say, these are
Without you
healings.
asking.
Yeah,
Oh,
without
that's
me
dope.
asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because of her, I said, you know what, let's do it.
Uh-huh.
Because I think if it wouldn't have been for her like feedback, I probably would have been back and forth, and not being like very like como determined.
Uh-huh. But did he do any like revisions
Oh, I
or
did. Yes.
how
So
many
I
like how many times?
once,
Just
only
once?
once,
Oh, cool.
only once. I
That's
only
cool.
did revision once.
That's good.
And but I
What was
really
what did he change or what was it?
it was a preservative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I added. And so when I got the second set, I was like, oh my God. Because I also found these ladies in Point Richmond that back in 2011, they used to have a soap making like little studio where you can go and learn how to make soaps and candles and
Oh shit.
fragrances and all this kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. They're not there anymore, but they operate online. So I remember I signed up for one of their like Zoom like webinars that
Mm-hmm.
you can listen to like, and so I did that, and I think I was listening to it on my way to work. And so they talked about, oh, add this to help like your soul. So I added that, and I was like, oh my God, that really helped. I'm really glad I paid those. I think it was like $25 to do that webinar. I was like, I'm glad I paid those $25 so they can, you learn to improve stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we added that, and we did the mold, because you know how when it's cold it's like sharp
Mm-hmm.
squares.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I wanted it like more what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to make a mold. So they made the mold. I sent them the logo. They did everything, and so they pour it. So it's handmade. Um, and yeah, so it was just because waiting for them to like complete it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were like, oh no, it's almost ready, and then it's like, okay, is it ready? No.
How
It
long
was
did that
just that.
take?
Well, I think we did the final like in December, and then in they had it ready to go by the end of April. I
So
think
4 months?
yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah, and but that's because in January, February, I wanted to make sure where all these ingredients came from.
Okay, okay, okay.
So we were waiting for that response, and that took a while because they
Okay.
were working on another big order. And so I had to wait, and they have a holiday during that time frame,
Mm-hmm.
and so the response was delayed. So yeah, like in February it was cleared, and then de ahí en lo que got shipped over. Yeah,
Okay, okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
So
So, are you going to be adding more scents, or
mhm.
what? Do you have any ideas on what they might be, or are you still looking? What?
Well, I'm thinking of coming up with like a pink one.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what scent yet or anything. I'm thinking of other products like to come up with like do you know about shampoo bars?
Mm-mm.
I didn't know either. My husband found out through YouTube someone in
Oh.
Mexico
Oh.
who does them igual from like the Jamaica, the vino, but it's all like you can see como muelen the Jamaica to like add it to the soap and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and so he came home one day. He's all excited. He's like, "Oh my god!" He said, "We're gonna change the world." And I was cooking, and then I was like, "What is that?" And I had never heard of a shampoo bar.
Huh.
So
Me neither.
no, and actually the people that help me with these soaps, they do them.
Hmm.
But what I don't like about them is that the ones they make have sulfate. So, but I tried it, and it lathers. It
Mm-hmm.
does. I was surprised.
Hmm.
And the conditioner too. Um, the conditioner we purchased from that person in Mexico because they're on Amazon, and it works really good and dura because that's the one we use for my daughter to shower. She has long
Really?
hair and it tingles.
Okay.
So my husband uses the purple one to shower my daughter, and then
Your purple
the
one.
purple one.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, and she queda bien limpia. Like
Really?
he's like, yeah, she loves it. And then the conditioner for the hair, and it can last up to 3 months. Like
Oh
shampoo
shit.
bars can last up to three
Huh.
months, and the conditioner. Yeah,
Got it. Got it.
so that's something that I'm gonna look into after, but it requires an investment.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's work. It's
Yeah.
work, but I really like it. It has helped me steer away from all the maybe negative stuff going on with my husband's health
Mm-hmm.
and going to work. And me estoy being like distracted
Mm-hmm.
on
Yeah. Yeah.
something nicer. I want to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Got it. Got it.
yeah.
So where do you see Encefalo in the future? Like, what other items are you planning on adding?
Well,
You
like
said you wanted to add more stuff. So what, like, what?
yeah,
Just
like
more soaps, different variety,
maybe
or?
more soaps and like the shampoo bar,
Mm-hmm.
conditioner bar. I'm thinking about that. Maybe some lotions,
Lotions.
but
Okay.
maybe a lotion with magnesium, um, because magnesium helps you calm down.
Mm.
And so I came across these people where you can buy a kit from, right? And you can add magnesium. So if you rub it on your hand, the
Mm-hmm.
magnesium will go into your body to help
Okay.
you relax. So for
Oh,
women,
okay.
you know,
Got it. Got it. Got
yeah,
it. Cool.
yeah. So that's I'm hoping I can continue to grow it. I'm siempre está esa duda, like, is it gonna work? Is it
Mm-hmm.
not? Like, am I doing the right thing? Um, but no me puedo echar para atrás now,
Yeah, I
like,
think that
yeah,
as an entrepreneur, there's always doubt. There's always those,
yeah,
questions, like, cause at least my case, I'm always, you know, asking myself, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, why did I start? Like, what can I do better? There's
hmm.
always, I think you're like yourself, worst critic. You want to just,
So you experience that too?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
yeah. So you ask yourself why you start,
yeah.
right?
It's like
Yeah,
fuck. Um,
yeah,
there's times when I'm like, even with the podcast, I'm like, wow, what am I doing? Like, is this like
yeah,
benefiting anybody? Like,
yeah,
is anybody learning anything, or am I just wasting my fucking time?
yeah.
It's like 2 hours every time I do an episode, which I mean I enjoy it, but it's just like, what's the purpose? Like,
You start to ask yourself that
doubt,
question. Yeah.
doubt myself and stuff.
So, so
Um,
when did you start?
the podcast
Uh
or
huh.
podcast 2023 for sure.
Uh huh.
Probably mid year
Uh
last
huh.
year.
Okay.
I wasn't as active as I am this year. Well,
Mhm.
I'm not super active, but I've done more episodes this year than all of last year.
Mhm.
I had a warehouse like down the street where I used to make my candles,
Oh,
and
cool.
it was a big spot. So I was like, there's this empty space. What should I do
Mhm.
here? You know, and that's when I thought about the podcast. I'm like,
Mhm.
why don't I start a podcast, talk about my experiences? Because I also started a clothing brand before the candles.
Oh,
So I've
okay.
always had
Okay.
that mindset of, like doing
Doing
something,
something.
exactly. So that didn't really work out. Then I did the candles. The clothing brand kind of like gave me a better understanding on, how to start a business,
Mm.
how to create an LLC, all
Mhm.
that stuff.
Mhm.
So I was like, let me start a podcast, talk
Mhm.
about my experiences, and then bring people over that have a business, they're entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
athletes, whatever.
Yeah.
So we could get to hear their thought process and their experience so
Mhm.
far. So that's what I've been doing.
Mhm.
To answer your question, mid last year. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool because I
yeah.
started like in September, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
So
wow.
have you registered your business and stuff,
Mm.
or how
Yeah.
was that process for you? Like,
It
did
was.
you get help? Did you YouTube it like I did, or
I did. I've
you
been.
knew what to do?
I went on to like YouTube,
Yeah,
and I researched, Google
yeah.
to see what you read. Um, but it's registered.
Mm-hmm.
I have like my business license. That I feel like I've kept it simple.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to overthink it, which I easier said than done. I do
Yeah,
overthink it, but I'm like, it's just simple.
yeah.
So with this mentorship, it was really worth it because it helped me like just kind of like break out of my like shell,
Mm-hmm.
and like just follow. Okay, just keep it simple. Go get this and that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have my business license. We have like an account for it. So when the orders come in through Shopify, and once
Mm-hmm.
if you want to take out that money, it goes to your accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that settled, and I haven't gone over to an LLC because I feel like I'm still really really tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So when the time comes, we'll convert it to that.
Got it. Got it.
And
Okay.
as I'm learning and growing,
Yeah, yeah. Of course.
so it's just like that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're only 2 weeks in, but how do you feel so far? Like, how has the support been from your friends and family?
It's been good. I feel happy.
Okay.
Um, my husband, we did this invitations, and he gave them to some of his clients, and I feel like where I felt like a lot more of the support is from them, and because they want to help him with his disease.
Mm-hmm.
So we put a little story that we were trying to collect funds for when we go to Nebraska, because we have to be out there 6 weeks. And
Okay.
so because they want to support, they've been putting in like bigger orders, and I felt the support from like friends and family, where they give you like they cheer you on, you know, not necessarily in sales. And I don't know if that's a good thing for me to say or not, but it's the truth, and it's not to like call anybody out or
Yeah.
anything. I'm aware of it, and like,
Yeah.
and that's okay, like going into this, I
Mm-hmm.
knew from the beginning, like things are like that.
Yeah. True.
So it's like, okay, you have to like steer away from that and keep going. Like where are you going? You um and really focusing like who's your niche, who are you targeting? Because that's who
Exactly.
these are for. So
Yeah.
just staying focused on that, but it was good. I mean, I can't complain. I've had sales,
Yeah. You've had
so
sales?
yeah,
Awesome. That's
I've
super
had
cool.
sales. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're doing paid ads. So I got into that, and someone's helping me with that. So, and even then, it feels like it's complicated, but
Yeah.
the it's reached a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need to like slowly,
Yeah.
They said something like fast, fast, fast. I'm like, no, like, slowly is fine.
Yeah. Just do it organically.
Mhm.
Sales will come, clients will come.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first started too, I really was bummed out because I was relying so much on friends and family.
Mhm.
Um, and like you said, you have to like just know who your target is and just if you do it organically, like you will find your the audience that you're targeted
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what's helped me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not gonna lie. Like the first day, you're thinking I put in so much work. You know, you're you're expecting something different. Like maybe like you're getting a lot of sales, and maybe without me thinking too much about it, maybe that's what I was kind of low key expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my husband wasn't. He was like, no, he's like, I knew we're not gonna have like a whole lot of like crazy orders. He said, so that's all I would tell you. But I was just like, oh, I'm working hard. Like, I'm putting like I would start talking to the people up with the soaps like at work, like from 7 p.m. And sometimes we carry on the conversation to like midnight. So I would sometimes I wouldn't go to bed till like 1 or 2 in the morning. And that's usually the time that I help my husband with his like invoices and
May I
stuff.
ask where this is? This overseas or?
Yeah, it's overseas.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gotta stay up late.
Yeah. So I'm like up late.
Yeah.
And so it but it's a good thing because it really made me realize what delayed gratification is,
Mm-hmm.
like you have to be willing to put in the work and not see results.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a learning process, and I've been reflecting a lot on that, and um my husband's a big support.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps me continue moving forward. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, when did you get your first sale? Was it like a couple of days? How was that feeling
Actually,
like as well?
the first sale we actually got it before we opened.
Okay.
Some he one lady ordered 50 soaps, like
Holy crap!
5 days before we opened.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, "Look, you haven't even opened, and someone already bought." And I was like, "Okay, but
But did
so
you know this lady or?
yeah. He
Okay.
knew
Okay.
this
Okay.
lady. Yeah,
Okay.
he went and he gave her an invitation. She's like, "Give me a soap," and she wrote him a check right there and then.
That's dope.
So I thought that was cool. So I'm like, I can't not like be not happy,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy. And then that day, when we ordered to be like, I had two orders when we opened,
Okay. The,
and
the
so
the the first day.
the first day,
Okay. People you knew or just
yes,
rent? Okay.
yes,
That
yes.
don't count. I'm just kidding.
So it's like I was kind of like, oh, but um, that's where I like the delayed gratification. It's like
Mm-hmm.
okay, like it's okay. And then later that day we had more
Mm-hmm.
sales. And then on I had to work, that was my day off on a Friday when we launched. I went to work on Saturday, and then another his clients placed 50 soaps. So I was working, I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, I was happy,
Mm-hmm.
and um but it's been more like from his like him giving out these invitations to the
Okay.
people
Okay.
he
Okay.
knows that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, I'm happy, like I have sales, I have, something to show for in the last 2 weeks. It's not like crickets,
Yeah.
you know?
Got it. Yeah.
And even then I think it's an experience that'll help you think, what am I gonna do better?
Mm-hmm.
How can I make it like what you know, it makes you think, and like, not everything comes easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I ask you is because when I first went live,
Mm-hmm.
I did have sales, from people I knew.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to Adela. She's been like very helpful. It's one of my cousins, but
Uh-huh.
she's been very supportive and stuff.
Oh.
And it's nice, but it's a different feeling when you get an order from somebody you don't know. It was like I remember that. It took a
Yeah.
long time, but that one order was like I'll never forget it because it was a special moment because it's somebody that you don't know
Mm-hmm.
and they bought a product that you made with your own hands. It's just a
Yeah.
nice feeling. That's why I'm asking. Like
Yeah.
how was how were those sales and if you
Yeah.
knew those people.
And so those I did know, and then I think on Sunday we got an order,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, "Oh, who is this?" It was someone in LA, and I was like, "Oh my God, someone ordered." I was driving home from my mom's house, and I got home, and I was like, "Javier, someone ordered, someone that doesn't know me." So I was just like so excited, like someone that doesn't even know me. That I was wanting to write something on the card that I didn't even write anything because I was
Oh.
just so like focus on getting the order right.
Uh-huh.
Um, came to realize that it was one of my husband's friends at one of the, I think he works at Jackson's, his girlfriend.
Oh
But
my god.
still, I just thought it was like someone so random. But
Okay, yeah.
at that Sunday, I was like, so I can relate,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
though we didn't know her.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So Encefalo, every order place you get
Mhm.
two soaps, or could you just buy one
You
soap?
could just buy one.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you can just buy one.
Got it, got it.
Yeah.
What are
And
your
so,
price points? How much is one bar and how much is both bars?
so one bar is 22, and then the bundle is 40.
Okay,
So yeah, because it would be 44. So the bundle is 40.
okay, okay.
And then, which has been the most popular one that a lot of people buy more of the bundle.
Okay.
Yeah. And 22. And so with all this, my doubt comes like, maybe this soap is too expensive, you know? But I look at other brands. Like there's a candle brand and there's a scent, but it's exclusively sold or for Rolls Royce customers.
Oh damn.
That candle is $65. But it has a mission, like they have a mission for people like trata de blanca. How would you say that in English? Like
Wait, what?
la trata de blanca, human trafficking.
Oh,
Their mission is to
wait. What is
end that.
Trata de Blanca?
Yeah, I think my
That's how you
husband's.
say it?
I don't know. My husband said la trata de blanca. So,
Huh? Never heard of that.
but it's human trafficking. That's what it
Okay.
is. So, you're like, okay, well, if so that's why, like in the mentoring, that's where I've learned sometimes like we have limited beliefs, or our minds are like we're so like in our we don't expand sometimes. We're
Mm-hmm.
so caught up in our so I'm like to my husband, let's say if I was to come up with a like a contract where I did an exclusive, like these soaps are only exclusively sold for like Rolls Royce, the price is not even at the level of a that client.
Mm-hmm.
So I because I was like, oh, maybe it's too, and my mom's like, yeah, well, like uno de Latinos sometimes busca the more less expensive and más
Yeah.
barato, more
Yeah. Yeah.
like more for your money.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I'm like, no. So I'm like myself like holding on to like my price, and then
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also aware, I'm like I need to make sales for
Yeah.
this to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's something that you have to really recognize to see what you're looking for. If you want to do like more affordable
Mhm.
uh soaps
Mhm.
to get more sales, or stick with your price. I mean, if it's a
Mhm.
premium product, then people will eventually
Yeah.
what's it called, buy your product.
Mhm.
Because if you uh reduce your price, that doesn't guarantee you getting any sales either. It's just like you
Mhm.
gotta kind of figure out what to do.
Yeah, yeah, and these are for the niche has been clarifying more for me. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's been becoming more clear. It's for like my mom fell. She was in Mexico. She fell, and she hit her head. So she wasn't allowed to like cook or really do much, like resting. So I know she was stressed, maybe because she's very independent. So I'm like, this is so like if for me to gift her, like she's sick.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of people that are sick, and hopefully these can one day be at a gift shop in a hospital for when you go and visit someone who's sick. You can give this to them,
Mm-hmm.
like, or so that's who like I'm like going towards, like,
Mm-hmm.
because I know what it is for someone who's sick, or for like the loved one. Like my uncle, his wife recently, she I think was almost getting a stroke, and then I was like to my husband, oh, like I could go take her these soaps, like she's under a lot of stress. So that's what these are for, like healing, like for you to
Mm-hmm.
just como to remember to calm down, to relax, because it's not always easy.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah, and the name of the lavender one is Galeen. And it first came about because we were thinking about a name. and I really wanted to do something where I remembered my dad. So the rosemary is called Ramiro because that's my dad's name.
Mm.
And so every time I would shower, I would remember. I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes bad things happen to you. Like you may feel anger, and you may feel like betrayed by like maybe your family or your, like, I don't want to say friends, but recently we've had some issues with some family where like they they just like that, yeah, they betray you, like,
Mm-hmm.
and for me, like, I get angry, or I'm like, why you do that to hurt us? We're family. And when that was going on and I was thinking about what am I going to name my soaps, I said Ramiro because he's not here physically, but remembering what he was as a father figure here and the example that he gave us is what keeps me being who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Being trying to, be a good person to other people. Like, he was very strong, like, character. Like, con una mirada, he'd be like, sit down. You could be like, oh my god, I have to be on my toes around my dad. He was very like tenía un carácter fuerte, so like he was strong, but he was very loving,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very like bondadoso.
Mm-hmm.
So when I would shower with the green one, I didn't have a name at the time. I'm like, I need to remember que hacer el bien is always better que hacer el mal. So
Okay.
that's where it comes. So like, I know for men, like, I know some men, go through some hard times too, and it's harder for them to talk about it maybe, or they don't know how to deal with a certain situation, maybe like a divorce or something going on, or and I want this Ramiro soap tanto como like for women or men to remember, like, continue to be the strength, like
All right. So we are back. We had more technical difficulties with the cameras. But yeah, we were talking about Ramiro soaps. Um. So Ramiro soap. What's the other soap called?
Galeen.
And that was.
It Okay, so that one, the name came. I was looking for a name and I didn't know what to put, and I came across Galeen, the name, and I looked, and it comes from a minor goddess.
They smell really
Um,
good.
I'm glad you like the
Yeah.
smell. I was like to my husband, like, are people gonna like how they smell? And
I
so
really
far,
like it.
everybody really like how they like how they, and it's the scent that you smell only comes from the essential oil.
Really.
Yeah, it doesn't have fragrance. The scent comes only from the oils.
I don't know which one I like better.
And
Sorry. So
as you
Galeen,
like,
what does Galeen mean? It's a
Galeen means
goddess.
goddess of calm seas.
A what?
Of calm seas.
Calm seas.
So I was
Goddess.
like,
Which goddess is this?
it's a minor Greek goddess.
Greek goddess. All my
Yeah.
candles are named after Greek mythology. Every
What?
single one of
No
them.
way.
Yes.
That is so cool.
So when you said Galeen, I was like Celine because I have a Celine and Gaia. So that's why I wanted to ask you because it
I
sounded very
I
similar
kept
too.
looking and looking and looking, like trying to find out more about her.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really all I can find. Like, she's a minor Greek goddess, like,
Okay.
and I just like how she said goddess of calm seas.
Okay.
And just because, in my life right now, in these past like 3 years, it's felt like just cuando it rains, it pours, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just so much. Um, but it's just kind of a reminder. That's why when I started posting on Instagram, I started posting a little bit what like if you read it to remember to have a moment of calmness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of sicknesses come from stress.
You know what? That's something that my wife always tells me because I'm always like stressing out. I always have something going on. I'm always like like you said, go 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 go. She's
Yeah,
like, you gotta fucking relax. Because stress, it's what I think what's it called, like a silent killer or something like
mm-hmm.
that. Yeah.
And I've been stressed lately right now too, because like with getting everything ready,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, I just feel like I can't catch a break. Like I could work 24 hours and not sleep, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, you you really need to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
like recover. And but there's just so many things that you're like, I need to get this and this and this and this,
Exactly. Yeah.
and then you're like, it's already 12, it's already 1, it's already 2, and my mom's like, duerme.
Yeah.
But I tell her, so that's what these are for, is that to remember you, for you. And
Mm-hmm.
and now that I have like the box that it has with the thank you card, I'm like, oh, I can implement a card like how to use it,
Mm. Is
to
that what that is? I haven't even read it.
that one is just a thank you card, with like
Oh,
the
you're going to
email,
implement. You said right.
but I want to
Okay. Good. Yeah.
implement,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I'm like, oh, how can I make this better? Like instead of me explaining it to you, like,
Yeah.
or if you gift it to someone, that can be like, oh, Gillian, remember to calm down.
Exactly.
And
Okay.
yeah, so that's cool. You did that.
Yeah. All Greek gods, goddesses, titans, places,
And how did you learn to make them?
make
The candles.
candles. Um. So I've always liked candles.
Mhm.
Coming back from work, I would light up a candle and stuff. And
Oh
one day I
yeah.
was off
Uh-huh.
work and I was like, you know what? Let me buy a do it yourself kit.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I purchased it. Came the following week. I was off. Kids were at school. I was by myself. I created or made a candle,
Mhm.
and that's when I started finding out about different waxes.
Mhm.
Different essential oils,
Yeah.
different
Uh-huh.
fragrances and stuff like that. And it really caught my attention. I'm like, dude, like, why don't I like create the best possible clean candle
Mhm.
that I could make?
Mhm.
You go to stores and yeah, they're affordable and stuff, but you don't really know what is
Yeah.
being used for. Like for example, paraffin is not very healthy to inhale or
Oh.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
So that's when I started learning about the waxes. I try to like get the best wax that I felt comfortable using. If I'm gonna use a candle, I want like the best quality
Yeah.
product. So
Yeah.
that's kind of how the candles came about, and then I run the idea by my wife and the kids. Hey, why don't we start selling candles?
Mhm.
So that's why how it started. But it took about 9 months for me to like kind of get the whole science down, just because you have
Mhm.
to find the wax that you are comfortable with, the wick,
Mhm.
the whole process of making the candle,
Mhm.
the curing process.
Mhm.
So yeah, it took about 9 months for me to feel comfortable with all those products to make a candle,
To make a
and
candle.
then obviously testing,
Yeah.
the different waxes, the different wicks that I chose.
Mhm.
I chose multiple ones, and then I stuck with what I have now.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I think that's amazing. I've always had an interest in the soaps,
Uh huh.
but there's so many things that you can make,
Yeah.
like candles, lip balms, lotions. I'm like, it just goes on and on. As
Yeah,
long
I
as you
want to.
like it.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
incorporate a lot of those things into the brand. But yeah, I just want to get the candles going first. It's just like a lot more competitive than I thought it was gonna be.
Mhm.
Just once I started, doing pop ups and stuff,
Mhm.
I started, learning about other brands
Other
around me and
brands.
stuff that
Mhm.
sell candles and stuff. So I'm like, how can I differentiate? That's hard to say.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Myself from
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah.
what am I doing differently and stuff. So that's like kind of the hardest part for me right now.
Yeah.
And obviously being consistent on social media. I have a couple of things going on. I have the podcast. I also started like live event promotion type
Oh.
of thing.
Oh my gosh.
So, the
Okay.
reason I bring this up is just because like I need to find time to like
Yeah.
you need a lot of time to promote
Yeah.
your brand. You have to post constantly. The
Yes.
candles I haven't posted in a minute. I just started uh posting things just because
Mhm.
we're gonna be at the fair. I'm like, dude, like how am I gonna make this work if I'm not posting or being consistent on
Mhm.
social media? Because everything's social media now.
Yeah.
So that's something that I really need to work on. How to manage my time better
Mhm.
and invest time on the brands so they could kind
Yeah.
of flourish.
I feel so. Are you selling the candles?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, you do?
yeah.
had no
Yeah, yeah.
idea.
So I
Okay.
started selling the candles. I think last year. Yeah,
Okay.
all of 2020. So we started late 2022,
Mhm.
holidays of 2022.
Mhm.
That's when we went live
Yeah.
to kind of test the market, or to see how it went.
Yeah.
And then all of 2023 was all about pop-ups. We did pop-ups year round. Soco Market, we did a couple.
Okay.
Pop the Trunk was one of the pop-ups we did most of the time. Marin County Fair was last year, was our first year doing it.
Oh my
So this is going to be our second year at the Marin County Fair.
god. Mhm.
Um, so that's been cool, but I really want to focus more on online sales,
Yeah.
and we go back to being consistent,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you have to get your brand out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. I feel you on that one because, I've, like in this mentorship, it's like you have to continue posting and you say you have to post twice a day.
Yeah.
So going into my analytics is between like 12:30 and 6:30 is
Mhm.
what's, and it's learning to manage my time better,
Mhm.
thinking ahead and then having that planned out. It's not at the beginning I was getting really stressed. I'm like, oh my god, I'm not hitting the 2 posts a day. Like I'm lacking it. Like what's going on with me? I need
Yeah.
to get up early and do this. But it's just, you get tired.
Yeah.
Burnout and between exercising, eating correctly, all that stuff,
Yeah.
it's just like ugh. But now I said I'm not gonna let that stress me.
Mhm.
If I'm able to make the post, that's awesome. If I can schedule, is pues it's just a learning. I'm learning, and
Mhm.
little by little I'll get there to where every day I'm consistent.
Yeah.
So I think just having it in mind that you'll get there.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because
So um the videos that
hmm
you've posted, have you are you the one that made those videos? Do you have a company that those makes those
no.
videos?
So how I think the first
Do you use
voiceover,
AI or what?
my brother,
Okay.
he's 19, but he plays a lot of video games. He's always been into video games, and he actually built his own like computer, like the monitor, like
Oh,
the
so
monitor.
he's like a
He got
video
like,
gamer.
yeah, he has two screens on his desk.
Holy
Shout
crap.
out to Hector. And I wanted to. I came to him and I said, because the first voiceover, it's you can see me talking, but I'm doing the voiceover, right? So it was gonna be kind of like me talking about like who these soaps are for and like how the name came about. And so he looked at the video and he goes to me. He's like, "You need to capture their attention like this." I was like, I could see what he was saying. He said, because yeah, he's like if if you're gonna go on TikTok, he's like, how are you gonna prevent that person from scrolling through you?
That's a hard thing to do. Yeah, because you have to, like, he's on point. Because if you don't get their attention,
Yeah.
you lose them.
And so I understood what he was saying, but I'm like, okay, well, how can I make this work, right? And so I was like, okay, Hector, well, what kind of video can we make with what I have? And so he helped me. He's like, well, do a script, and then he's like, you can record it. He had the mic and everything ready to
Oh
go.
damn.
And so I was like, okay, I'll work on the script. Um and I'm not gonna lie, I go to Chat GPT, like to help me clarify, really refine what I really want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been, helpful. And I read it to him and he's like, okay, that's a good. He's like, because it's talking about
It's hot in
what,
here.
yeah. And so we did a lot of cuts on certain videos, and then he put it all together on the computer. He's like, no, let's move this here, let's move that there. And then he's like, okay, tell me the music. And I would tell him what music, and then he said, hey, just like listen to it. And then the closing part with the logo, he actually made the background black and then the logo white. He put everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I just kind of like reviewed it, and then I was like, okay. So we did that one. And then the second voiceover too, he helped me with it. Um, and I told him, I really want you to focus when I'm saying lavender, like that the lavender is being shown that it's being planted, and rosemary that we're showing So he worked on all of that. So I'm so happy I have
Well,
my brother
yeah, that's
to help
amazing
me
that you
with
have
that.
somebody to help you out because that's one of the hardest things to do. I think
Yes.
creating content that people will
Yeah.
enjoy, and takes time. It's time consuming.
Yes, it's very time consuming. And so I also too like I realized, he's into his plane and I'm like, I don't want him to feel like I'm taking his time away. So I'm like, can you move it a little quick? Like I need to go to bed because I have to be at work tomorrow
Yeah,
morning. Um but yeah, so he really made me see, like, that's what I'm saying, like being open to, yeah, this is what I wanted to share, but he's like, no, you need to, like, they're gonna like scroll over you.
yeah.
So I'm like, I see what you're saying, Hector. So he helped me. The other ones where my husband's like washing his hands, the ones where the plants are being planted, I think we recorded that.
Isn't there one where your husband's like rubbing his back with the
Yes.
soap too? Yeah.
So that was funny. My sister, I don't know if you know her, Cindy. No, Cindy Montoya. I mean, she was like 2 years younger than me.
Probably if I see a picture of her, maybe yeah.
So she's like, but she
I'm not good
couldn't
with
stop
names.
laughing. She's like, when I opened my Instagram, that was the first thing
Really?
I saw. She's like, have you seen the show? And because he's not on social
That's
media,
so funny.
she thought it was funny. My mom too. She's like, that's the first one I saw when I opened my Instagram. So that one was, we had fun with it. Because I'm just like, I need to put something, and it was like late at night, and then he's like, well, I'm gonna go shower, and then he said, come here, and so we started like, just pulled out my iPhone and I started recording. I
Yeah.
got like a little light, like kind of like the ring,
Mm-hmm.
but it was a square that you put on your
Oh
phone,
yeah.
and I just put it, and we worked with that.
Yeah.
um, and I edited that. I used some apps, like Temply,
Mm.
just to help me.
Got it. Yeah.
And the other ones, we've all taken the videos with just my iPhone
Okay.
and just making cuts and kind of like figuring out this is good. And I keep in mind what my brother says, like, keep them interested.
Yeah. Exactly.
So those apps come in handy. Like they just kind of like move the transitions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's
It's
time
just time
consuming.
consuming more than
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Well, you just gotta have fun with it, or
Yeah.
else it's gonna,
Mhm.
not come out
Yeah.
as entertaining. I think.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm telling my husband, like, I really like what I'm doing. Like I like my job. I like this stuff with the soaps. So like I couldn't ask for anything more. So I'm really happy, and I never thought that I could say like someone else's situation could be worse than mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
True.
so I'm really happy I was able to get out of that where I was feeling like I was sinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so with these soaps, I hope to have an impact on those people like that are suffering because it's painful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to accept it too.
True. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you go live on TikTok or not really?
not yet.
Why?
Just
Just
because
because you don't have the followers, or just because you don't
I
feel
don't have the
comfortable?
time.
Really?
Like I was thinking of going on. I wanna like get like something to hold my phone. So I
Mm.
have one, but I need one smaller, like for where I wanna have it. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know, but
How many followers do you have?
only have 40.
Oh damn! Because I think you need like 1,000 to go live. So try to
Oh,
build
okay.
your account. Just because
Yeah.
I think that TikTok's the app to use to, like, especially with your story, with
Mhm.
your brand. It's a very appealing. Not that you're using that story on purpose, but
Mhm.
it's your personal life, and
Yeah.
how your brand grew. So I think people could gravitate towards that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good app to use at the moment.
Yeah.
Um,
So I've been posting some of the videos that I've been posting on like Instagram, and at the beginning it's like, oh no, you're violating the community guidelines. So that
mhm.
was kind of stressful, but I just kind of learned how to deal with it and
Mhm.
keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I have that in mind. So that'll be coming up.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon. I can
Yeah,
do
that'd
like
be
a
interesting. Yeah.
live TikTok.
Just talk about
Mhm.
your soaps, about your story.
Yeah.
Um, and then just grow organically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So So yeah, that's.
Yeah.
And are you still doing clothing?
No, not
No, no
anymore.
more.
No, no.
No.
So that was back in what 2017, 2018.
Uh huh.
So I used to go to the gym, MMA classes,
Okay.
and I just felt super, confident
Mhm.
I've been overweight, throughout my life and stuff.
Mhm.
I've lost weight, gained it back, all that stuff. And at that point, I just felt on top of the world. I felt super, like I said, confident, healthy,
Mhm.
light,
Mhm.
energetic, and all that stuff. And I kind of wanted to express um, how I felt through something, and that's how I
Okay.
started the clothing brand. But it didn't really work out.
Mhm.
I didn't know anything about promoting or
Mhm.
editing, graphic design, none of that
Mhm.
stuff. So I had to like reach out to people and stuff, and it was just kind of hard, So that was why I stopped doing the clothing brand
Mhm.
for a minute, and then a couple of years passed by, and that's how the candles came about.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh
So yeah,
wow.
cause I wanted like a little store as well.
Mhm.
Like I had
Yeah.
that vision. I've always had you know in mind to have something of my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
So yeah,
Yeah.
no, no
I
more
think.
clothing brand for me.
Do you ever think you'd want to return to it or no? No. No more.
uh, no. I mean, I've thought about it. Just because I have I think I have a better understanding and more knowledge
Mhm.
now. But it's just having that push to like start again and
Mhm.
trying to figure out again, and I just don't have the time. I'll have to stop what I'm doing now. It's just it'll be too much, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I thought about it,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm like nah.
Yeah. My husband wants to get into clothing, and then
Really?
I'm like, wait, 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 wait. Just
Okay.
because I know the amount of work that it takes,
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna be doing it.
Yeah.
So it's just like because you really also need that time to decompress.
Mhm.
Come on, like there's times where I'm like, I don't want to think about anything. Like I
Mhm.
just want to sit on my couch and watch a
Yeah.
show and like nothing.
Yeah, I mean, once there's memes out there,
Yeah.
on the this end, like, oh, I wanted to be my own boss. Now you work 24/7.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no holiday. There's no fucking paid vacation. It's like you're constantly on the
Yeah.
go go go.
Yeah.
It's your own brand. If people ask for whatever
Mhm.
a question, you're the one that has to answer that question. You can't
Yeah.
fucking be like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
so and so take care of this.
My
Um.
daughter lately, she's like, "Mommy, no phone." And and I'm like, "Oh, she's calling me out," and she's only 3, and because sometimes yeah, we're at the park, but I'm working maybe on a video
Dude, I
or
totally get it. Yeah. That's something that I'm constantly like, struggling with because my wife's like, dude, you gotta fucking have time for business and then time for your kids. We're out at the park and I'm like, oh, get my phone out. I get a
mhm
message or
mhm
whatever. I have to respond. Dice, no, no, no me quedo quieto. I'm like,
yeah
oh shit, like there's a message that needs to be
yeah
answered.
and it's like just kind of taking care of that stuff in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So yeah, so I'm like, I know we can do it, but I know it's more expensive
Yeah.
to do a clothing brand and
Why did he think about a clothing brand? What was
um
his
I think
reason behind it?
because he likes hats a lot,
Mm.
and I know he sometimes wants certain designs and he can't find them, and
Mm.
so I think that that's what he wants
Yeah,
to
that's
do.
something that I contemplated as well, but I think that's a very competitive market. Like the
Yeah,
gorras, like everybody's doing that now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, let me just get the hang of this, Like I think tanto him with his landscaping business and
Mhm.
me working and now this and the kids, sometimes I feel guilty. I'm like, I feel like I'm not listening to my son a lot, and he's 15 and I don't want him to feel like I'm ignoring him or that I'm not interested into what he's into or that I don't have the time to take him with his friends and
Mhm.
because that's also necessary for them at their age
Yeah.
too. So um I'm like, okay, just we have so many years, hopefully, to
Mhm.
continue being on this world that,
Yeah.
maybe at a later time or, little by little, but without so much pressure,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, to do
True.
it. So, we'll see. But for now, the soaps, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
I like I said, I never thought it would develop into like having my own brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's crazy. I used to take classes at the Renaissance in 2014. I don't know if you heard of them. The Renaissance. It's like a center where you can go make a business plan. They used to be on Third Street in San Rafael,
Hmm. No,
and now
never
they're
heard of
in
them.
Richmond. Están ahí por la Cutting. No, no, by la Cutting, by like by McDonald's, by the library,
Okay.
and like you can go and help and like seek funding, like get to know yourself with like banks and stuff. If so, I took one class in because I wanted to do like clothing, like I've always said, oh, I want to do clothing. And so I took one class in 2014 and it was how to like start your own fashion brand. And I remember at the time I was still living in Richmond. So when I would drive back home, I would think about, oh, maybe one day we're going to go to a trade show. And we're actually going to go to our first trade show July. It's going to be in Vegas, and it's funny how things work because I was so into like I wanted to do clothing, but now I'm into like soaps,
Mm-hmm.
like skincare stuff. So I'm like 10 years later, here I am like going to a trade show. So I'm excited to see like because I know vendors are gonna come from all over the world
Yeah.
to there, and I'm like so excited. Like like things come when you least expect them to come. And it's crazy, and I'm like 10 years have passed by. Oh my god, like,
That's crazy. Yeah.
it's just
Well,
flying by.
that's exciting too. Like going to a trade show and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never been to one, so I'm like, oh, I hope I can know myself around there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and there's always a first time for everything. So it'll
Mm-hmm.
be a good experience, and then for the following years you'll know how
Yeah, I
how
guess.
how, how to go about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
looking forward to that and learning.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, see what I can better.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then is your husband excited about that, or is he
Mm-hmm.
going with you?
He's
Yeah.
going with me,
Yeah.
and he actually has dialysis that day. We're gonna leave later in the evening.
I'm sorry. When is this?
July 23rd.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a Tuesday is when he has a treatment, but the actual because it goes from the 21, 20, 22, 23, and 24. It's 3 days. But we're only going to be there on the 23rd to
Mm.
actually like go for some hours.
Okay.
So we'll get
So
there.
it'll be a 1 day thing, or are you gonna spend the night over there?
We're going to spend the night.
Okay.
So we're going to go like on a Tuesday, spend the night, have him also like, I know he needs to recover,
Okay. Okay.
and then Wednesday we'll be out and about, and then we'll come back that evening.
Okay.
Wednesday, yeah.
Cool.
So that'll be good. I'm excited,
Yeah.
and I
Sounds
also
exciting.
too like I want him to see like what else is out there.
Yeah.
Like you know, like because how they put it on like the social media where I've seen it, I'm just like, oh my god, there's just so much stuff. So I think it'll be a fun experience for both of us.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I've
So.
always wanted to do a trade show, but I always miss it. Siempre se me
Oh.
olvidan las fechas, and I'm like, oh fuck, it was this weekend or whatever.
Yeah. And I was hesitant, like, should I go? Should I not? Is it too soon? Like, see, no. And then the tickets were expensive, so I was like, I'm not gonna let it happen like before, where I booked last minute, everything's priced, so I booked the others in like May.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
That's good.
I just and also too like this journey, I've been more like just taking a decision, just see or no.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm glad about that because I was losing that. I was very like yes, no, like um, but now yeah, no,
Okay. Okay.
working on it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Uh, so you wanted to start a clothing brand? Was it clothing brand or just a boutique? Like, so
a
were you
boutique.
gonna? Okay.
Yeah, so a boutique. I was thinking to like resell.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
what I was not. I never like brand more of a boutique.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for like plus size women,
Okay.
for like certain clothing that like I look for but I can't find.
Mm.
So but you know, it's just funny how things work. Like I never imagined like doing the soap stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
cool.
shifting completely.
Yeah.
So but I'm
It's
really happy
totally
with it.
different,
And
because
yeah,
it's skincare, so it's more like más. Siento que es como es más delicado,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And my I feel like I found um I want to say like a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I know like when I was younger, I was always into like, well, what career? Like if I was to go to college, like sciences or nursing or something to do like with like lab stuff,
Mm.
but like a little bit like with more education. And so, but I wouldn't do it just because family and kids and everything and providing and help support the household and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So it's like no, but now even like with food, like I look at the labels, like what does this have, being more conscious of like what you're eating, um and I've always been like, oh no, mom, don't eat that because it has like like this. So I feel like this is like perfect because I can really like see like, hey, I don't like this ingredient,
Mm-hmm.
or I want to make it better because all these other brands use this ingredient, but we're not gonna use that
Mm-hmm.
ingredient. So I feel like I found something that like I truly, truly like can understand.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know everything because we're always learning, new
Yeah.
things are always
Exactly.
coming out, but in somewhat like that it coincide like
Mm-hmm.
with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy. I'm like, I feel like I found something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
So
a product that you stand behind. It's
yeah.
like you're comfortable using
Oh
and
yeah.
you're comfortable selling. It's
Yeah.
so it's like pones tu nombre behind the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm trying my best. Tried my best to really make sure these are made with really good ingredients. It has hyaluronic acid. I don't know if I mentioned that. It has hyaluronic acid.
No, you haven't.
Both of them. It has vitamin E. Both of them. The green one has thyme, and thyme is an extract that actually helps your brain, your neurons.
Huh.
So I thought that was interesting. Uh, what else does it have? But it has some sugar. The one of those ingredients, I think it's stearic acid. I'm not quite sure. It's a sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So it has exfoliant. It's a little bit of exfoliant, but it's gentle.
Mm-hmm.
My son is using it for his acne,
Okay.
and we've noticed like it almost se calma, like it's not too. Sometimes it's too like flared,
Okay.
and then se le calma. So I've been taking pictures.
Really? Nice.
So I was like, just lather on
Is
your
he
hair.
comfortable like you posting them or he's like, nah, ma, don't do that?
I think he is. I
Okay.
just haven't posted it yet.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yeah, but I have some other. I've been working on like, okay, take a picture.
Uh huh.
For
Yeah.
later, and then I can put something together.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's been suffering a lot from it.
Yeah. Just take as many pictures as you can. That way, like you have
Yeah.
content. When you're
Mhm.
too busy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been exciting. And he's like, "How'd you do this?" I'm like, "Well, just like I guess he sees like because if you Google Encefalo Beauty, like now suddenly you know how everything related to that
Mm-hmm.
or
Yeah.
Encefalo comes and he's like, "Look, your videos are there." I'm like, "Well, I don't know, it just pops there."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, so
Cool.
yep.
Uh, so is there anything that we missed about Encefalo that you want people to know?
I don't know. I feel like I'm all over the place. I just it's for people like hmm it's for people who are suffering,
Mm-hmm.
and if I can bring a little bit of hope into their life with Encefalo, um, I think I'd be more than happy
Mm-hmm.
because I know how much pain it comes with accepting a disease, yeah, whether it's for yourself or for your husband, your mom, your dad, we're all subject to it,
Mm-hmm.
to
True.
some worse, some less. So, if you know of, anyone going through a hard time with it, like this is something that you can give them to um, help them not sink
Mm-hmm.
into a depression or just, sometimes they like don't want to, like talk about what they're going through. And I think that's it can hurt them. Every individual. You just keep everything to yourself. It hurts you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want. If I can help a little bit, ease that pain. That's what these are for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Elizabeth, listen, thank you very much for stopping by. I had fun talking to you, getting to know your brand. It's amazing story. How you've incorporated, your dad's name, into the soaps, all that stuff. So I really appreciate it. And if you wanna look to the camera, let people know who runs Encefalo, where they could find you, social media, website, whatever you need to do.
Okay. So I'm Elizabeth. I run, Encefalo. Well, me and my husband, we both work as a team, and you can find us on Instagram at Encefalo Beauty. On TikTok, I'm still under my personal one. It's Ellie Montoya, and Facebook, Encefalo Beauty as well, and you can follow us there. For more content, it would be Instagram, Encefalo Beauty, and yeah, I want to thank you for reaching out.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by.
I had fun, and yeah, so thank you so much
Yeah,
for
our
thinking of me.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Guys, check Encefalo out. They smell amazing. Um, I don't think you'll be disappointed with them. I'll try them and let you know
Yeah, let
how
me
they are.
know.
Yeah, they
Good
smell
and
amazing.
bad.
All right, cool. Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Have a great day.